Hi everyone and welcome back. It's Mindy with Mindy Egan Design, and today I'm featuring a card that I created using the new Gnomey stamp set and die from c.c.designs. This is part of the March 2018 release, so check out this cute little stamp. This stamp set comes with 4 images and 2 sentiments, and it measures about 2 by 3, so it's a really nice size, something for kids could even use to create cards. So what I'm doing today is I'm just going to create a little scene for my card. So I'm starting out, I stamped out the little gnome and the mushroom image from the stamp set, and I stamped them onto Neenah Solar White cardstock with a Copic friendly black ink. Neenah cardstock is just my personal preference. It's what I've kind of gotten used to with coloring on, and with Neenah cardstock I do like to color 2 layers. So even with this small of an image, I do try and still get in 2 layers of coloring in here. So I'm starting off with the skin tones, and I just started out with a darker color. This is a little different than what I normally would color. I started out with E13 as my darkest color. Then I followed that up with an E11, an E21, and an E00. And then I just blended that darkest to lightest, and I did go over that twice. Now with the hands and feet, I didn't do all the colors on there. I did the E13, and then I think I just came in with the E21 because I wanted to make sure I showed that there was some sort of shadow there, like on the inside of the hands and the inside of the feet is where I put the darkest color, the E13. And on the pants, same thing. I did use 3 colors for this combination. This is an E59, E57, and E35. And I kept the darkest colors in the inside of the legs and then a little bit right under the shirt where the shirt would hang over the pants a little bit to cast a shadow. And then I did layer this up twice as well. And now for the shirt, this one was a little tricky because there isn't a lot here for the shirt. So I used B39, B28, and B24. And I did take my darkest color and did a little bit right under the beard because the beard would cast a shadow onto that shirt. And then a dark color, my darkest color for the inside of the arms too. So I was just really careful how I placed that dark color. Typically, I would not leave the beard as last. I would do the face, the beard, and kind of work my way through the clothing. But honestly, coloring beards scare me. It's not, I'm not real great at it because I like how people can show how it's kind of fluffy or feathery looking, and I'm not the greatest at it. So I kind of left that for last. So here now I'm going in and working on the hat, and I chose a red combination. These match my little gnomes that I have sitting outside. And for red, I have R59, R46, and R35. And I'm just going through the same steps. I did my darkest color first, and I added that to the artist drawn line, the brim of the hat. And then I just went around the edges of the hat so that the lightest area is going to be right in the middle. And then I also put my darkest color right at the top where the little flip is or the knob is in the hat. Not sure how you want to call it. And then I'm blending those out from darkest to lightest. So I'll come in with the R46, blend in a little bit, and then color it the rest in with the R35. And then I'll go back over that again, starting out with the darkest color. And that'll just help deepen those shadows a little bit. Kind of also draw attention to where the highlight area is going to be. And when I'm coloring this, I'm kind of coloring, I guess, at an angle, sort of. I'm going up so that it's showing that the hat is rounded. I didn't want to be just kind of a flat across coloring line. I wanted to kind of color up towards the hat, so it's going to give that rounded effect. And then deepen up my shadows with the flip of the hat and that brim of the hat, and blending that in with the R35. Now I'm going to work on the beard, and I'm going to color the hair the same color. So I actually am starting with the W3 is what I started with. And I just started at the bottom of the beard and did little small flicking motions inwards, and then I flip my paper. This is just easier for me to color this way, and I do some flicking motions going down. And I'm just kind of spreading those flicks out throughout the beard. And then I'm going to come in with a W2 and a W1, and I'll do the same thing. I'm going to just flick in towards the beard. So I guess the lightest area is going to be towards the middle. And I'm going to do the same thing with the hair. And what I'll do is I did use a W4, but the W4 is my darkest color. I didn't start with it because I didn't want it to get too blended out with the rest of my colors. So I saved it for the second round of coloring that I do on my images. And to me, that just helped define that a little bit better. And I do follow up, and I will come back in with a W3 and W2 just to kind of soften it down. I just didn't want it blended all together. I wanted to make sure there was some definition in there. And I did come back in with the W4 again. So even though it's a really small area, I just really wanted to make sure there was that definition and having it a little bit darker towards the bottom. And I'm actually really happy with how the beard turned out. Even though I was kind of scared of it at first, I'm really happy with the definition that I was able to give in it. Now for the glasses, there's a couple different ways that you can color the glasses. I opted to leave those empty. I could have put my flesh colors in there, but what I did was just kind of come in a little bit with a C3 and a C1 just to give it a little bit of shading. Now for my mushroom, I knew I was going to have the mushroom kind of off on the side, so I'm adding my darkest color where there may be a shadow. So I'm starting on that side of the mushroom, and I'm coming in with the darkest color. I'm using the same reds as I did on the hat. So I started with the R59, and I also followed along that artist drawn line of the mushroom. I'll blend that out with the R46. And then my lightest color, the R35. And then I'm going to come back over that again and just darken up those shadow areas a little bit, blending them out, making that a smooth transition, trying not to color on those spots. If I did get some color on them, I have a little trick I'm going to do at the end of the video so I can make those white spots stand out a little bit better. And then for the stem of the mushroom, I'm just coming in with my W's again, and I did the W4 as the darkest and then blending that out with my W3 and W2, and I did come back in again just a little bit with the W4 to kind of darken up that side of the stem. Use the coordinating dies that you can also purchase from c.c.designs for the Gnomey set, and I'm just going to line those up and hold that in place with some thermal web purple tape. This is a really good tacky tape to hold my dies in place, so that I get the nice outline, and I can run that through my Big Shot machine. Now I'm going to start working on the background of my card. So I just came in with one of my favorite stencils, which is a mini cloud stencil, and I'm using MERMAID LAGOON Distress Oxide ink on Bristol Smooth Cardstock, and I'm just kind of lightly putting in some clouds. Most of it will get covered up, but I just want to make sure I had enough coverage. So I'm just lightly brushing upwards to get some soft clouds in that background. And I went ahead and I created this background using that birch circle die. And this is on some wood grain pattern paper. I'm using this grass die. I really love this grass die. This is also from the March 2018 release for c.c.designs. And it's using the garden die. So there's a few different things in that garden die. This creates an open-ended grass. So you can have your grass as tall or as short as you want. You decide when you trim your paper. So I just attached that grass behind my birch tree circle and added my mushroom kind of tucked back there a little bit. And then I already went ahead and trimmed down my piece of cardstock that I had did the stenciled clouds on. I trimmed that down to fit my panel, which this panel is 4 by 5 1/4. And so I just attached my clouds behind that grass. And then I took some craft foam and adhered that to the back of that panel with some double-sided tape. And I went ahead and added that to my A2 size card base. So it has a little bit of dimension there. And I can go ahead and add my gnome to the front. I also did a sentiment, which is off of the Gnomey stamp set, and I cut this out with the banner die from c.c.designs, and I just trimmed off the one flagged edge a little bit so it was flush with the edge. And then to finish off the card, I'm going to be taking some white Nuvo drops and I'm adding them to those little spots on my mushroom. And that's just going to help make those pop a little bit more in case I had gotten some, any of my red marker on there. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, I would appreciate a big thumbs up, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. This March 2018 release from c.c.designs is available on their website. I'll have all the links provided down below in the description area and also on my blog. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll catch you in the next video.